Hello everyone, Jules here. Today I'd like to recommend some astrology books that would be really useful for learning basic astrology. And I've got 3 books here that I particularly like, and I'm recommending these books as a qualified astrologer in case people might be wondering which books I would recommend for learning the basics of astrology. The first one is Keywords for Astrology by Hajo, Banzhaf and Haebler, and this is published by Weiser, and this is a really useful book. And why it's particularly useful is because it covers all of the fundamentals and basics of astrology in the way that each page has got a chart for the information. So I haven't seen many basic astrology books like this before, but it's just very useful for looking up all of the structural ideas of astrology. So there's information on the astrological signs, the elements, the qualities, planetary combinations, planets in signs and planets in houses. It's just a very useful and practical book, and it's also very accessible. And it's a handy reference book to have as well. So that's why I particularly like this book, Keywords for Astrology by Hajo, Banzhaf and Haebler. And I'll put the details below the video about this. I'm pretty sure that this is still being published by Weiser, so you should be able to get this, otherwise you would get a second-hand copy. But it's a very useful book. So that's that one. The next one is a great book. This is a newer book, more recently published, Astrology and the Evolution of Consciousness by Maurice Fernandez. Now, Maurice Fernandez is one of the best astrologers around today, and I don't say that lightly. He is a great astrologer, but he is also very good at putting the information in an accessible way and quite easy to understand, but the information is also quite deep and spiritual. He has a spiritual approach to astrology, but it's also a psychological approach. This book is actually got the subtitle of Astrology Fundamentals, and it is Astrology Fundamentals, which is really useful. And he particularly goes through sun and moon positions in the signs. So this is really useful for people who may only know their sun and moon positions and the signs, and they may only know their rising sign or something like that. But this is particularly astrology fundamentals and sun and moon astrology. So it's really useful. He actually refers to this as volume 1 in his Astrology Fundamentals series. As far as I'm aware, volume 2 has not been published yet, but this is a great book and I highly recommend this one. The other book is very useful, but this book really lays the foundations for astrology. So I highly recommend this book, Astrology and the Evolution of Consciousness by Maurice Fernandez. And the last book is very useful like the first one, Parker's Encyclopedia of Astrology by Derek and Julia Parker, who have been astrologers for a very long time. and they've written many books on astrology. And this book is useful because it is more like a dictionary than an encyclopedia. It's an A to Z book of all the different terms and information of astrology that you would basically need to know. So anything you want to look up, it's all alphabetical. So if you want to look up planets or signs or houses or just correspondences, anything in regard to astrology, and also a little bit of astrology history as well, it's all in one useful book. So I really like this one as well, because when you are first learning astrology, there's many times where you'll come across not only the basics of astrology, but different terms that might be related as you go along, and you'll think, oh, I wonder what that's about, or what is that? It's a really good book for definitions, because there are a lot of astrology books that will mention different terms, but they may not bother about definitions very often. So this book is really useful for that too. So Parker's Encyclopedia of Astrology by Derek and Julia Parker. So they are the 3 books that I particularly recommend for astrology basics, and I'll put the details below the video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.